Good morning everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Keto by Keto Kath. I'm Kath and it's Friday again. Gosh, doesn't the week go quick? If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is all about my weight loss journey to lose 56 pounds. I did get to 50 pounds before Christmas and I do weekly updates, so if you haven't already done so, please hit the like, give me a comment, thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and then you can follow my journey and see how I get on every week, see whether I get to my goal this year. So the key to successful keto, keeping the carbs low. Absolutely. What does that mean? What happens when we eat carbs? I'll tell you what happens when we eat carbs. Our blood sugars go up, and they go up more than they do when we eat protein. So they have a bigger effect on us, on our blood sugars and protein. And why is that important? Because when our blood sugars go up, our insulin levels rise to bring our blood sugars down. Why does that matter? It matters because insulin inhibits lipolysis. And lipolysis is the breakdown of fat, which is what we're all aiming for. So it's harder to burn fat when you're eating carbs. I used to do a diet years ago and they had green and red days, and on a green day you could eat as many baked potatoes, as much rice and pasta until you felt full. Well, I was never full on pasta rice, I could eat it all day. But I never lost weight on that diet. And this is why, because my insulin levels must have been through the roof and therefore my body couldn't burn fat. So in other words, carbs put the brakes on us burning fat. So to burn that fat, we need to take those brakes off and keep those carbs low. We need to keep them down, and that will keep our insulin low. So how do we translate that into keto? Because isn't keto low carb anyway? Yes, it is low carb, but it's absolutely so easy to overeat carbs on keto. You can have the wrong type of veg, you can have the right type of veg but have too many of them. You can start baking goods. You'll see recipes if you're doing your own research for keto, and they have almond flour and coconut flour and xanthan gum, and whilst they're all really nice and there is a place for them in the diet, they're very high carb, so you have to work out what's in everything that you're making. So be very, very careful with the recipes. And it's easy to eat the wrong type of, sorry, that's Milo sneezing. Are you all right, Milo? Yeah. It's easy to eat the wrong type of veg and think we're doing the right thing. So root veggies, so parsnips, beetroots, high carb vegetables, peas, sweet corn, which are ones that more people are aware of. So what I'll do is I just pop the slide in here that I did for Christmas on what to eat on keto for new people starting in the new year. Just pop them in, a couple of slides on what are the best low carb veg. So let me just show you what I've got this week, like what I've bought. I bought this book, can you read that? It says End Your Carb Confusion. It's by Dr Westman and Amy Berger. Dr Westman was one of the people that wrote the new Atkins diet. He was a panel of people and he was one of them. And I've been reading it just to reset myself really. There's quite a keto community on YouTube, and a couple of ladies that I always watch their videos. One of them's been very successful and lost over two of them have lost over 200 pounds. And going back to basics, you know, and going through this book has really reset me on and refocused me on what I should be doing. I've said it's a learning journey and I'm here to help if I can, but I am still learning myself. So 6 months in and 50 pounds down, I've learned a lot from reading this book this week. So one of the things he advises is only 1 to 2 cups of some veg, some very low carb veg. You can have 2 cups a day, but other veg like cauliflower, 1 cup a day and no more. So we're really controlling the carbs. Things like oil that you can cook with oil, he limits it to 2 tablespoons, dairy limited to 2 tablespoons, and cheese limited to 4 ounces a day. So it's been a bit of an eye-opener for me. It's a very restrictive form of the keto diet, but what he says is he needs to do a one size fits all. What he put in this book will work for everybody. So what I would say is, if you're not tech savvy, If you don't like weighing and measuring and tracking, and you've got to do that to know that you're within your carb allowance, you've got to track. I use Carb Manager on my phone on an app. But if that's not for you, that book is a good alternative, because basically there is no tracking with it. He has free food lists that you can eat freely until you feel satisfied, not overfull. And then the other things are measured with tablespoons or cups. So if you're not tech savvy, I'd highly recommend you get that book. He also tracks total carbs. So, you know, there's no net carbs, which is what I've done today, but I've actually swapped now after reading that to tracking total carbs. It gives me less to be able to play around with, but I know it works. It works for everybody. So, you know, if you're not sure where to start, that would be a good starting point for you. So, you know, how to address this carb issue then. How do you know you're doing it right? So be aware of what's in your veg. So you could do some swaps. So if you are having carrots, swap them for courgettes. If you're having beetroots, swap them for radishes. And be aware of what's called carb creep, where your carbs just creep up, and maybe to a point where you won't lose. And I hear many people saying, I'm doing the keto diet and I'm not losing weight. So just be aware of what you're eating and track everything. There are carbs in everything. If you have 3 eggs, there's 1 gram of carb in 3 eggs. The other day I made a light lunch and I had 3 romaine leaves with chopped up bacon in and some fried mozzarella. I'll put a picture in actually. So that's what I had for my lunch. It's only a very light meal. It was 5 rashers of bacon. They were 1 gram of carbs. 3 romaine lettuces, 3 grams of carbs. 100 grams, my 4 ounces of mozzarella, 5 grams of carbs. So that whole meal was 9 grams. And if I'm only having 20 a day, I've had nearly half my allowance in a very light meal. And it was the mozzarella. Now, mozzarella is a protein, so you could think, oh, it's just cheese, that's no carbs. No, it was 5 carbs. It's because it was pre-bought, pre-shredded. So A, either do your own shredding, or B, if you're going to buy pre-shredded things like that, you need to be aware of what the carbs are in them and make sure that everything counts. And that's carb creep. It's when you're having carbs and you don't realise that you're having them and you're going to go over your daily allowance, and therefore you're not going to lose weight because your insulin's going to be up. So be aware of everything that goes in your mouth. I made bolognese last night for tea. And I thought, I'm going to be really strict. I'm going to track absolutely everything. So obviously the tinned tomatoes, herbs and spices, and I use OXO cubes, and I've used them since day one. And I very often put 2 in because I like a really strong beefy flavour in anything like that, and chilli. Or if I'm doing some stew, you know, I'll put OXO cubes in, and I just think, well, they're just like herbs and spices. The beef, and when I looked at the main ingredient, it's actually wheat. So I looked at the carbs on the back, and in 1 OXO cube there's something like 1.8 grams of carbs, and I've been putting 2 in. So that's 3 grams of carbs that I didn't even realise were there, and I've done that for 6 months. So that's how carb creep works. Be aware, you know, even the seasoned professionals, we get caught out, so you've just got to check all your labels. So in other words, just do your homework. You know, everything that goes in your mouth, even the herbs and spices, make sure you check the content in everything that you eat, and keep those carbs down, and then you will be successful. So you'll see loads of recipes. Oh, I've had this and I've had that and it's lovely. Oh, yummy, I'll make that for me tea. And you're probably going to make something and you won't lose weight because you'll be over on your carbs. So just be aware. So it's the end of week 2 of the year. And anybody who started keto in January, you might be feeling a little bit rough this week, maybe a few headaches. You're probably getting into ketosis, which is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. It's not the best feeling when you first do it, so just make sure you're having your salt. I keep banging on about this every week, but you need to have your salt. So make sure a couple of teaspoons of salt a day will fix you, either in water, put some flavouring drops in, sneak it in a coffee with a bit of I use caramel flavouring, so I have salt and caramel coffee. Just get your salt in, salt your food, and it will help you immensely. And then next week, week 3, you are going to feel absolutely fabulous, because week 3, once you get into ketosis, you are on top of the world. You feel like you can conquer Mount Everest. So, you know, just knuckle down, knuckle through these carb cravings if you're getting them at the moment, which is typical at the end of week 2. Knuckle down through those, get through this getting into ketosis phase where you need your salts, and look forward to next week, because you're going to feel absolutely fantastic. So how have I gone on this week? As you know, I weighed in confession time last week. I had a little bit of a gain over Christmas. I think it was a stone, 15 pounds I gained over Christmas. This week I got into ketosis last week, and then I've had tummy upset again. It's a little bit of an ongoing issue, but I took some medication this week and it kicked me right out of ketosis. So this morning I'm still not back in ketosis after taking the meds. I've weighed in, I'll put my weigh in here. So last week I was 11 stone 4.6. This week I'm 11 stone 1. So I've got 3.5 pounds off that Christmas weight off, which I'm really pleased about. I've also got a new toy. So I'll show you a picture of my new toy. I got really fed up going out in the dark. It's been raining this week and I just thought, oh, this is pants. I need to keep my exercise up, but I'm just getting, it's demotivating me to do it. So I got myself a treadmill, one that's easy to store. It's not got the big racks or anything. I can just slide it under something, slide it under the bed, get it out. And I managed to watch 2 soaps the other night and get an hour's exercise in at the same time, so I was over the moon. So that's my new toy. That's my story for this week. I've had a good weight loss. Hopefully I'll have a better one next week because I'm going to get on the treadmill a little bit more. It only arrived yesterday, so I'm going to get on the treadmill as much as I can in the evening, keep myself busy, no snacking, and good luck if you're doing keto, you're getting into week 3. It's great next week, so really, you know, you will feel the benefits come next week. And I shall check in with you next Friday and keep ketoing on. Bye everybody.